Nation, that's our title. The governing Jubilee Party has collapsed. The opposition NASA coalition has disintegrated. The Hasra Nation has found a new home in the United Democratic Alliance. We welcome all Kenyans who desire a greater future to join us in the United Democratic Alliance. In 2017, Jubilee was elected by an overwhelming majority on the platform of the Big Four agenda that was anchored on the success of the party's first term. Subsequently, a merger of the governing party and the opposition coalition was occasioned by the handshake that was presented ostensibly as a framework for peace and economic growth. Kenyans initially welcomed this development and hoped that the promise of a peaceful environment would facilitate the implementation of the Big Four agenda and enable the Jubilee administration to continue with its development plan. That was never to be. I will now call Soipan to continue with the statement.
Sadly, this framework degenerated into an unnecessary, arbitrary, selfish, and unconstitutional attempt at changing the Constitution that occasioned unlawful and unbudgeted expenditure of billions of shillings of public resources that are to date unaccounted for and are a subject of the Auditor General's inquiry. Little wonder, a recent survey has shown that 72% of Kenyans believe that the country is headed in the wrong direction. For 4 good years, the country has been engaged in the BBI process, characterized by hubris, chest thumping, blackmail, intimidation, and bribery. In this process, party parliamentary committee leadership and members who were perceived to be disagreeable to this scheme became victims of a vicious purge and expulsion. Besides, the criminal justice system, Kenya Revenue Authority, and other state agencies were mobilized and weaponized to intimidate, blackmail, victimize, and persecute leaders, business people, and ordinary Kenyans perceived to be opposed to this unconstitutional order, BBI, and its anti-people recommendations. This provided a leeway for the attempted vandalism of the Constitution of our country. Fortunately, the judiciary made a very profound decision affirming the supremacy of the people, their constitution, and independent institutions. Honorable Cecily Mbarire.
Regrettably, the NASA coalition, its principals, and their Jubilee collaborators took the government hostage, hijacked its agenda, and, 1, completely destroyed the governing Jubilee Party and dismembered the entire opposition coalition. 2, emasculated Parliament, undermined the rule of law, threatened the independence of the judiciary, and emboldened impunity. 3, sabotaged job creation, universal health coverage, food security and manufacturing, thus cutting the entire Big Four plan. 4, criminalized hustler enterprises in places like Nyamakima, Gikomba, Kamukunji, Kirinyaga Road, and River Road, amongst others. 5, presided over the brutal or inhuman evictions and demolitions of the vulnerable and destruction of private property in places like Kariobangi, Ruai, amongst many other places across the country. 6, mismanage the economy, leading to stockpiling of public debt to unprecedented levels that has occasioned the current economic crisis that our country is facing. I wish to call upon Honorable Benjamin Tayari. Thank you.
Thank you. Our approach towards a bottom-up economic and governance model. To address this sad and grim state of affairs facing our country, the Hustler Nation, forged by the people in the diversity from all parts of the country, here represented by leaders from across the political divide, believe in a new economic and political paradigm that prioritizes 1, bottom-up over trickle-down economics. 2, the people over their leaders. 3, empowerment over power sharing. 4, jobs over positions. 5, enterprise over patronage. 6, economic transformation over opportunistic constitutional amendment. I hereby call Honorable Mabonga to continue.
Focused on this new paradigm and through a bottom-up economic and governance model, it's possible to enable the over 15 million Kenyans at the bottom of the pyramid to be active and meaningful participants in the economy through deliberate, 1, public/private labor-intensive investment framework to create jobs. 2, financing instruments and mechanisms to spur, promote, and empower hustler enterprises such as Mama Mboka, hawkers, bodabodas, artisans, artists, among others. And then 3, facilitation and enhancement of productivity of farmers, pastoralists, fisher folk, and other actors within agriculture value chain. Number 4, implementation of manufacturing and industrial program that prioritizes cottage industries as a multiplier of national productivity. In the meantime, we will continue sponsoring and supporting people-centered legislation and policies that entrench the objectives of bottom-up economic and governance model. And we will also sensitize the public to remove what is in the heads of the majority. May I take this opportunity to invite the leader of majority, Hon Aden Duale, the man of all seasons.
Thank you, Member for Bumula. It is our considered view that to open up the economy, and this is on COVID-19 pandemic, as the PG, we have deliberated the matter, and we are saying it is our considered view that to open up the economy and to facilitate economic activity among our people, especially for the millions of hustlers, it is imperative on the part of government to proactively and decisively deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. Currently, our country in the world is focused on the speedy mass vaccination of its population. We expect the Ministry of Health to, without any further delay, to roll out the vaccination of Kenyans with immediate effect, as earlier communicated by government and more so by His Excellency the President. Through mass vaccination, we can save lives and progressively reopen our community, our economy, the way it has been done in many other countries. That is the end of our statement from the parliamentary group. We had 135 members of parliament from both houses, 15 have sent their apologies. We have 2 of our governors, the governor for Turkana, Governor Nanok, and the governor for Nandi, His Excellency Governor Sang. And I think you have heard what the PG has discussed. Any other question you want to ask, if it is not part of our statement, that means it was not an agenda and we will not discuss it. But I think, as the Deputy President has said, mine is to send a message to our competitors, because the election is about 1 year to come. They believe in constitutional reforms and constitutional change. We believe the priority is the economy, and more so the bottom-up economic model. They believe in ganging up and forming tribal chieftain. We believe in a unified, unitary state, politics based on and space created for all Kenyans. They believe in sharing of positions, and that's why you see each one of them. They have no agenda, they have no manifesto, they have no economic model. Some are saying, my business is to deny William Ruto the presidency. That is the agenda of one of the leaders. Another one is so busy with trying to revive NASA and Oka Kenya. So we are saying our manifesto, our agenda is very clear, and we want them also to put in place why the bottom-up model is not good for Kenya, but the trickle-down model that we have lived with since independence is better than what we have. So that should be the discussion. That should be the narrative. So we want the people of Kenya to choose between us and them based on very informed social, economic, political models. That's it, I think. If you have 1 or 2 questions, then before we leave. Yes, from KTN. And it should be something on this statement.
Thank you, and very good afternoon. Chris Taylor from KTN. 2 questions. One.